This is where I think a lot of business plans go wrong, is that they have you focus on who is your ideal customer. But I want you to be thinking of who is your ideal customer, right? Yours. Who do you want to be serving out there in the wild from today on the way from year after year, year after year?
Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we're dedicated to helping product-based business owners turn into revenue-generating, successful, happy product bosses. I'm Jacqueline Snyder.
And I'm Mina Kunlo-Sitep. Together through digital courses, coaching, and masterminds, we've helped over 50,000 students from startup to multi-million-dollar businesses scale their sales while blending in their dream life.
It gets lonely out there in the product business world. We fully believe a business shouldn't be built alone. There's room at the top for all of us.
So let's get scrappy and creative together, Product Boss, to be profitable, make more sales, and grow your visibility.
Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hey there, Product Boss. Are you squeezing in those last days of summer? This is the perfect time to get outside, soak up some amazing sunshine, and spend some quality time with our kids, our friends, family, and pets before the hustle and bustle of fall. Now, you may agree that summer is such a unique season. It gives us, particularly those who own product-based businesses, the chance to slow down a bit before the holiday season rush. And we definitely want you, as a product boss, to fully utilize the slower pace. Remember, we say work on your business versus in it at these times. And it's not only about squeezing in those last summer days to enjoy the summer, but also preparing for what might be your busiest season yet when the fall comes around. Now, that's exactly why we're excited about HubSpot's AI-powered tools. These tools have the potential to help you work smarter and not harder. They can streamline your entire business operations from research and strategy to content creation and optimization. Okay, so just think about it, right? Recent research indicates that those who use AI, particularly business owners, have managed to cut the time spent on admin tasks by half. Okay, listen. So from 5 hours to just 2.5 hours a day. That's simply incredible. Just imagine what you could do with an extra 2.5 hours per day. Now, with this substantial time savings, you can be squeezing in one final summer getaway or gearing up for the holiday season and having one less thing to worry about when you're running your business. So, Product Boss, learn more and get started today at HubSpot.com. Hey, Product Boss, before we jump into the show, I just wanted to let you know that we see you. We see those fantastic products that you've poured your heart into, that you're set to sell, ready to shine, but there's just one problem. Not enough people know that you're out there. They don't know that your business exists. And it's a common challenge, but one that you don't have to face alone. We are here to help. So, introducing the totally free 3-day Get More Eyes on Your Business Bootcamp. In just 3 days, we'll deep dive into strategies to ensure that you find and get in front of your ideal customers, just in time for the busiest shopping season of the year. Now, this holiday season, don't just hope to be discovered. Equip yourself with proven steps to guarantee that when the holiday buzz kicks in, shoppers don't just stumble upon you, they actively seek you out. You've done the hard work creating those amazing products. Now let's make sure everyone knows where to find them. So, are you ready to get more eyes on your business and boost those holiday sales? Then don't wait. Get registered for free today at theproductboss.com/moreeyes, or you can DM us on Instagram, the word eyes, and we'll get you all signed up. Of course, all the information is in the show notes. Now remember, your customers are out there. Let's make sure they actually find you. We're here to help you, Product Boss. I hope to see you inside.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Product Boss Podcast. Hi, I'm Mina. I'm your co-host and co-founder of the Product Boss, and I'm excited that you're here. If you're new here, we are the duo that helps you not only get more sales in your business, but also get more eyes and money in your pocket by streamlining your systems, getting more visibility, and helping you make more money and get more sales. So welcome, everybody. I'm excited to talk to you today about something that I think that comes up quite often, which I think that we get hung up on the thought of this. So a lot of times especially when you're starting out or in your first few years, you think that, but I didn't start with a business plan. This is something that I think people get caught up in, but I'm not good at business. I didn't even start with a business plan. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need a business plan. I have come from a very traditional educational background. I have my master's of business administration, my bachelor's of science in, bachelor's of arts in advertising, as well as my minor in psychology. And so I believe in education, don't get me wrong, but I think that we get caught up in the things that we think that when we're starting out, we skipped this crucial part of having a business plan. And I've been an entrepreneur since 2004. It's been an incredibly long time. I've done most of the things that I've done, and because I haven't had a business plan, I didn't let needing a business plan stop me. So for all of you that are starting your business, or that you are thinking, oh, I'll go back and develop this business plan, know that you don't need to do that. Okay. I'm going to go over the only 5 things that you really do need when you're starting a business or when you're thinking about selling a product to your customers. Okay. Starting that product business. Okay. So first of all, you need a product lineup. You need something that you're able to sell your customers. Now, when I say a product lineup, this is a product in hand, and you can start with one. I think a lot of times people are like, "Ooh, I need this big product lineup." Mina said a product lineup. I just mean one singular product, if that's what you have, or if you have 3, if that's what you feel like you need, or if there's like if you're, wanting to come up with a collection, then that's what you start with. Your product lineup is what you sell to the people, and you start with that. And again, it doesn't have to be a lot. I started with just one variation of one product, okay? Because you're going to need to kind of validate that you're able to sell that. So first thing is you simply need a product. And that is, in my mind, called a product lineup. And it can simply be just one. Okay. Next thing is that you need, and think of this as like, write this down in a 1-sheet business plan for all y'all. Okay. So 1-sheet business plan. First thing is I need my product. What is that going to be? It can be a lineup, or it can just start with simply one. Next thing is you need margins. So not only you need to make money. This is the clear differentiator between a hobby and a business. You're going to find it to be very, very, very difficult to build a business off of a product or product lineup that is built off of zero margins, very low or zero margins. So you need to make sure that your pricing is correct, and you need to confirm that your pricing is correct. So a lot of times when we get students into multi-stream machine, we realize that they came up with that pricing according to their competition, or they came up with it thinking that this is what it's supposed to be. And so we go back to ground zero with them, and we're like, hey, let's make sure that you are priced correctly so you are making money, so you can bring more money into your pocket, or also invest back into your product lineup. Okay. Because that's the way that a business is sustainable, is that reinvestment. A lot of times when you're starting out, you just keep reinvesting and reinvesting in your business. But what do you need? You need margins. So you need your product, and you need to make sure that product has correct pricing margins in there. Third, you need knowledge about your category and about the competition. This is built into your, a lot of times people are like, okay, what is your competition? Like when you think of a traditional million-page business plan, they're like, who are your competitors? What is the research of the category? Blah, blah, blah. You don't need any of that. You do need knowledge and research of who those are, because you need to become the expert at that. But it's the sheer goal of it is that you have enough knowledge to be 2 steps ahead of your customers. It's bringing you closer to the customers that you want. This is where I think a lot of business plans go wrong, is that they have you focus on who is your ideal customer. But I want you to be thinking of who is your ideal customer, right? Yours. Who do you want to be serving out there in the wild from today on the way from year after year, year after year. So instead of thinking about like, this is, the result of me having this product is this customer, you also have to be motivated to be in this category. You have to be motivated to be in this service of your customers. So you have to love your customers at the end of the day. So your ideal customer has to be your ideal customer for you. And basically how you plan to talk and demonstrate their desire of wanting your product to the customer, to your customer. So because you love your customer, you're able to talk about it easier. You're able to demonstrate it easier because you know that you're demonstrating the desire of why they would want and need your product right now. And then the other stuff, sometimes people think of it as research. You need to know who else is in that category with you. I hesitate to say that you need to know what your competitors do or who your competitors are. That's simply research in my mind. I don't want you to do what your competitors are doing. I don't want you to look at other people's lanes. I want you to simply know that you need to become better at your category and better at getting closer to your customers so you have a plan of how you're going to be talking to them, how you're going to be demonstrating to them your product, and how you're going to be meeting their desires, which will be aligned with your desires because you care about that customer, right? So that is the knowledge and the research of that category.
Hey friend, I'm just going to interrupt this episode really quickly because it's podcast recommendation time. Okay, so this month we are really enjoying the Hustle Daily Show. It's hosted by Zachary Crockett, Jacob Cohen, Robert Litters, and Julie Bennett, which is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. The Hustle Daily Show brings you a daily dose of offbeat and informative takes on the most recent interesting business and tech stories. One of my favorite things about the show is how on top of the stories they are, because they make sure that their episodes are always released and relevant to what's currently happening in the world. So one of their most recent episodes is all about the writer's strike, which is happening in Hollywood. And it's actually affecting my family because if you don't know it, my husband is an actor and now his union as the actors are striking and the writer's strike. And they're really talking about what AI has to do with those strikes. And let me tell you, it is so informative because as business owners, I think it's so crucial for us to understand what's happening in the world outside of our own market to see how it can play into our businesses as well. Because while AI is amazing, there are a lot of cons for writers and actors. And this episode is really interesting and they dig in and they'll give you their take on it. So I can't wait for you to dive into that episode. Listen to the Hustle Daily Show wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, Product Boss, you probably heard the exciting news in the very beginning of the show where we're introducing our totally free 3-day Get More Eyes on Your Business Bootcamp, where in 3 days, we'll dive deep into strategies that are going to help you find and get in front of your ideal customers just in time for the busiest shopping season of the year. Now, if you haven't done that yet, why don't you go ahead and pause the podcast? Now you can click the links in the show notes or head to theproductboss.com/moreeyes or just send us a DM over on Instagram at theproductboss and just send us the word eyes and we'll get you all signed up. Now, pause, go ahead and get registered because it's totally free and it's going to be a total game changer. And then come back and listen to the rest of the show.
Next, you need to know where you plan to sell. This is in a business plan. Typically, what are your opportunities that you have? Okay, but I'm going to make it plain and simple English. Where do you plan to sell? Where do you plan to sell right now? And where do you plan to sell, ideally in the future? But right now, and this is where Jacqueline and I come in. When you understand where you're planning to sell, because we do believe that you need to sell in more places with the same products, that product lineup, even if you're starting with one, selling in more places. So that way you can, what other people call diversification, we call multi-stream machine. You need to sell on more places for more profit and for more sales. Because as a small business, getting in front of that consistent product in front of more people is where we help you. Because it's going to take multiple streams of revenue for you to be able to grow, but for you also to be able to find the customer that is right for you and able to kind of stack your margins. Consider it like profit stacking. A little bit of margin here, 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 adding it up to multiplying your margins. Okay. And that is the way it's done when you're a small business and you have less resources than the big guys. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of what I just said. You need your products or your product, lineup, even if you're starting with just one. You need the right margins. This is where most of our students in multi-stream machine jump right in to confirm that they have the correct margins for them to be a sustainable, feasible business. Okay. Next, you need to have at least the entry level research and knowledge about your category, your competitors, your customer, in order to know that I can speak on this. I can demonstrate this. I can understand the desire that I want for my customer. Not everybody's customer, my customer. And the fourth, you need to know where you plan to sell. And next, you need timelines. As an entrepreneur, the difference maker between action takers and big talkers is the actual action you're taking. And all of that is mostly timeline and goals. Okay? So a lot of times people are like, "Oh, I really want to do this," or "I plan to do this, but I don't know what the next step is." That's where the timeline comes in, okay? The timeline of you setting the date, of you saying by year end, these are the places I plan to sell. By end of this month, I am going to go through the pricing module in multi-stream machine and look at my top products and know that my margins are in the right buckets as I talk about my products, so I can focus on those particular products. Or it might be, this is when I plan to launch my product, and, I'm going to do that by the next 90 days of this, quarter 3. So then by quarter 4, which is the last quarter of the year, I know that I'm going to be talking to my specific customer. But in that time, I'm going to be researching all the things that I want to do for my quarter 4 plan. So it's all about timelines, dates, goals, actions, okay? And I lump that into timelines because I think as entrepreneurs, there's a self-discipline to that. It's like walking the walk and not just talking the talk. And that's what sets all of you apart, is that you've actually have this product. You've actually created a product, which is more than other people who are out there saying, "Oh, that was my idea. That was my idea." Yeah, that's sure. I've heard that from 99% of the people out there. But did you come with a product in hand? Because if you didn't, then there's no point in listening to your advice. It's what Brene talks about as the man in the arena. Do not take advice from somebody who is not taking the same blows and punches in the arena with you. And I like to think of it as the woman in the arena, okay? And so you should not be listening to any advice from somebody who is not in the arena with you, okay? Because those people are just still talking about whatever it is that they continue to talk about, but they have not taken the actions to be in the arena. They have not, felt the punches. They have not failed and gotten up again. They have not put themselves out there time and time again. Okay? That is you, my friends. You're brave and you're courageous. And the difference maker I find with a lot of entrepreneurs, that a lot of them are wonderfully thinking about their dreams, but unless they put a timeline and goal and action behind it, it will forever be just a dream. So I'm going to run through those for my, let's call it a modern day, entrepreneurial business plan, that these are the only 5 things you need. And it's not that long business plan that everybody is saying that you need. Maybe if you wanted to get a loan at a business bank, or a business loan at a bank, that they would need to have that. And I don't even know if that is what they start off with anymore, right? They're surely just looking at numbers nowadays. And so it's product lineup. One is product lineup, even if it's starting with just one. Second is margins. You need to have a profitable business. So margins must be there. Otherwise, the idea is not feasible, okay? It might be you coming up with a different idea, but you need to make sure your margins are there. Third is the knowledge and research about that category that you're in order to get you closer to the customer that you want. Because you need to be able to talk to them in a certain way, demonstrate to them in a certain way, make them desire your product in a certain way. And that starts off with awareness of knowledge and research of that category. That adds to the feasibility of your whole overall plan. Fourth is where you plan to sell. You need to know that there's places where the customers are, and you need to have an idea of where that is going to be. And then for those people that are in multi-stream machine, they have that idea of, hey, I plan on selling on Amazon, or I'm planning on selling, in in-person markets, or I plan to sell wholesale, and I really dream of being on the boutique shelves at stores, or I plan to sell via email, or I plan to sell on my own website, or I plan to sell, what else is there? On social media. Did I say that already? So you have an idea of where you plan to sell, so you can take the actions to see if your customers are really there or not, and if your messaging is correct. So, but you need to know first and foremost, in order to do that, you need to know where you plan to sell first. And the people in multi-stream machine that are thinking about that, let's say it's Amazon, wholesale, email, website, social media, they're like, ooh, this is what and where I want to sell. And and the how is in multi-stream machine. That's where people decide to take the next step with us. And last but not least, you need a timeline. Business plans are important because of timelines, because of goals, and when you plan to do all these things. So even if it's a business plan, an overall business plan, is it your third and fourth quarter business plan as we're stepping into that? And then, which would be rest of 2023. And then what it would look like for 2024. And then perhaps your 3-year plan, your 3-year goal, timeline, your 5-year timeline, maybe even your 10-year timeline. But then that things are aligned in that way. And it has to start with the idea of you placing yourself on a timeline of action. Okay. So I hope that helps everybody. I hope that it alleviates the things that you need. And like I said, you just need to maybe sit down 30 minutes to start off with and write those 5 things down on a one-sheeter. That way you can start off with, okay, that feels really good. I'm going to keep referring back to this, one-sheet business plan, because these are the only 5 things I need to start to take action. And then the clarity will come with the actions that you take. So you keep referring back to that. You keep adjusting it and clarifying. And, it's like clay. You're molding it and you're, making it be what it needs to be, but you don't know what you don't know. So let's start with those 5 things, okay? And then that will be what you start off with. So thank you everybody for listening in. I'm so excited to see you put all your products out there and for you to, shout it from the rooftops and put it out into the world. And don't let this idea of a business plan stop you. It's a 30-minute one-sheet business plan that you can write down. Here's what I'm starting off with, and I'm going to take the action, the imperfect action, and I will start to mold this clay of a business plan that I have to make it what I want it to be. Okay, thanks everybody. I will see you next time. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you for being here and listening all the way through the Product Boss podcast. If you love our show and it has helped you in any way in your business, would you mind doing 2 things for us? Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode and leave us a review. Reviews help other product entrepreneurs know that this is the place to be to grow their businesses and realize that they're not alone. And we know that you all know that a 5-star and honest review helps you sell more products to more people. So you know that your reviews help us reach more listeners around the world. Remember, what we give is what we receive, and we are all about helping each other in the Product Boss community. We are all in this together. We would be so appreciative of you if you could take the time right now to subscribe, leave a review, and even share this episode on social or someone you know so we can impact more lives. And remember, subscribing means that you will get notified each time we release a new episode so you never miss a thing. You have helped us grow and climb into the top 10 of all marketing podcasts, and together we can keep climbing. Thank you, friends. And remember, there is room at the top for all of us.